Hello everybody, here we are in my quarantine kitchen. I'm Rick Orlando and it's the first night of Passover. So I'm going to make something that is traditional to have for Passover. You can see I have some prepared here already. We're going to make gefilte fish, but we're going to make them with sustainable Maine salmon from True North Fisheries and a little ginger and a little twist just to modernize them, but they're so delicious, you're going to love them. So this is really easy. You only need a few ingredients. You need matzah meal, of course. This is actually gluten-free matzah meal, but any matzah meal will do. You need onions, that's about one large onion, a couple of eggs, a little parsley, salt, sugar. This is about 12 ounces of beautiful salmon that I cut into chunks, and a little ginger, and that's our trick. So let me show you how easy this is to make the base, and then I'll show you how we're going to make the cooking liquid. I don't know how they got away with not having food processors hundreds of years ago when they developed this recipe, but we're going to put our onions right in the food processor. Then we're going to take our ginger. Now, peeling ginger with a spoon, I learned from Martin Yan years ago, and all of my cooks have learned this. Use a spoon to peel your ginger, you'll waste less ginger. And it's all we need is like maybe a heaping teaspoon. So we'll give it a little scraping like this, get it clean, enough. Don't have to get neurotic about it. And then I have my little paddle grater here, which is great. Put it right there. Grate it right in. Nice fresh ginger. This is going to give it almost an Asian flavor. Like a little bit of, almost like you're eating cooked sushi. Very delicious and a little twist. And even your grandparents will like it. Okay, what's next? We're going to put a little sugar in here. Not a lot, about a teaspoon. And about the same amount of salt. Some parsley. And we're going to grind this up. We're going to make this into a nice puree. Nice and smooth. Okay, now with the machine running, I'm going to drop a couple of eggs. Nice local feather ridge eggs down there. Let's go. Don't drop a shell, I'll kill you. 1, 2. All right. So that's basically our base now, right? So now we're going to put in our salmon. Put it right into the machine. Pulse it. Pulse it a few times. We want it to break down. We don't want it to be total puree. I like a little texture, but give it a little time. Like that. All right. How's that look? Okay, see what I'm talking about? You still see some flecks of salmon? Now we're going to pull it all together with this beautiful matzah meal. Again, this is gluten-free, but you can obviously use regular matzah meal as well. Pull it all together. All right. Now we're going to let this rest for a couple of minutes because the matzah meal is going to drink up the liquid and it's going to be really ready to form into quenelles. All right? All right, so we're ready to make our gefilte fish, but what do we need to make first? We needed to make a stock. Now, traditionally, when you get the ones in the jar, they're in like jelly because they cook the carp bodies, the bones and the heads. Listen, if you've got carp carcass and you want to make stock with it, power to you, even a salmon carcass. I didn't have one, so I made a simple vegetable stock. And one of the things I put in the vegetable stock, if you see here, there was the skin on the salmon, so I put the skin right in there to give it a little bit of fish flavor. And then I salted it so it tastes like a mild soup. So when you're ready to do your quenelles, and see I have 3 going already, you put your broth together, strain it into a pan, a nice deep pan, and you taste it. And it should have a nice saltiness to it. Not super salty, but salty. So now let me show you how to make the mighty quenelles. This is the 3-sided spoonful. So you take a spoonful and you see what happened with this as it's set. Oops, as it's set. It got nice and smooth. Give it a couple of turns like so. Knock off the loose edges. Doesn't matter if there's a few. And put it in the water. And you want to poach these, not boil them. Poach means the water should be smiling, not laughing, okay? Just at a simmer, the same as you would poach eggs. If you boil them too hard, they'll get mealy. Dip your spoons in water to make it smooth. Give it a turn. Drop them right in there. So that 2 pounds of salmon is going to give you enough for about 15 or 16 of these nice 2-ounce quenelles or gefiltes. I put 3 in before we started so I can show you what they look like when they come out. They float, they're fully cooked, they're delicious, and then you can serve these warm. You can store them in the broth so they don't dry out. And if you really want to get that gelatinous thing, you can add some agar-agar, which is seaweed thickener, to give it a little bit body, but I'm fine just storing them in the broth. So let's eat some gefilte fish. All right, so we made salmon ginger gefilte fish today. I showed you how easy it was to make. It's actually a fresh, delicious, and healthy appetizer for your Seder table or for any time. We make these all the time. Matter of fact, if you have a lot of salmon and you trim off the belly and the skinnier pieces, freeze it, break it out, you can make gefilte fish then too and surprise your friends. So I don't know how you like yours, but I kind of like mine in lettuce. I also have matzah here. Put it right there. Now, I like a little bit of hot mustard and, of course, a little bit of fresh horseradish. I want you to have a great Passover. I know a lot of us are in quarantine. I know we're doing it in Zoom. Doesn't mean you can't share gefilte fish online with your friends. Happy holidays.